Hello and good day to all of you. We are students from University Malaya, course GIG1005 Social Engagement, are going to present to you a video slideshow with titles of statistics around us. Our group members consist of 6 people: Muhammad Arif bin Hasrizal as the leader, Faiz Sofian bin Shakawi, Muhammad Amiamsyah bin Ibrahim, which is myself, Hee Xiong Fei, Jiong Fanjia, and Humaizia. We are all from the same bachelor degree, which is Science in Statistics. Our content for today's video slideshow, which is first of all the introductions. I will explain a little bit about statistics so you can have a better understanding throughout the slideshow. And then I will continue with statistics that we can actually find around us. Then we will continue with issue regarding statistics and improvement that can be made by Muhammad Arif, and then jobs related to statistics, interesting facts about statistics, and the conclusions by Faiz Sofian. Do you guys know what is statistics? In a simple way, statistics deals with data collection in large quantities, analyze it, interpret it, and then make a conclusion from it. In our daily life, we actually are inseparable from statistics. There are many examples that we can find from our surroundings. Statistics are required for the salaries of company employees, the number of people who have been vaccinated against the new crown, the popularity of restaurants around our places, and also some government departments use statistics to count local fiscal revenues, financial analysis of stock trend, and computer big data analysis. It can also be said that our life will be much easier with statistics. Now, I will show you guys what statistics that can be found around us. First of all, quality testing. Quality testing is a test made by companies to ensure their products pass their target requirement. Companies make thousands of products each day, and they also have to make sure that it is good quality before it is sent out. When companies make thousands of products, it will be hard for them to test each and every item. So the simplest way for them to test it by using statistics, by selecting a significant number sample of the products. If the sample pass the quality test, then the company can assume that all the items that are made in the group or called batch are in a good conditions. On to the second example, financial data analysis. The financial market needs statistics to analyze data and then predict the market trends. Specifically, the collected data can be processed to form a content that is conducive to use. The particularity of financial data makes the processing of financial data have its own specialties. Moving on, the third one is census. Census is an official count or survey, and especially for population. For example, in the United States, a population sampling census is conducted every 10 years. It also goes to Malaysia. Due to birth, death, migration, and other reasons, the population is changing over time. So the census must be made based on a specific time point, and the nationwide survey is conducted at the same time. Next is sports. Some of us love to watch sports and also rooting for a team that they like. Sport become competitive when there is ranking between teams to compare with each other. Ranking in sports demands on the total amount of points collected, the collection of this data, and sorting it is from the least to most part of statistics. Besides, Some sports demand more on data such as chances created and assists. In case of tie of point between two teams, other factors come into account, such as goals conceded and scores are determinant. The other important aspect of statistics is for weather forecasting. Meteorologists rely on statistical techniques to provide weather prediction that extend from 3 to 7 days out, 1 month to even 3 months on average. The computer used in weather forecasting is based on the set of statistics function. All the statistic function to compare weather condition with the pre-recorded season and conditions. This can be found distributed by the Climate Prediction Center. Lastly, the medicinal effects also depends on statistics. Before a drug is used clinically, a large amount of experimental data analysis is required. Moreover, long-term tracking and recording is required for the stability of the effects. The tracking and recording also happen during clinical use. This is medical statistics. That is all from me, and now I will pass it to Muhammad Arif.
Hello everyone, I am Muhammad Arif, and now I'm going to present on some issues regarding statistics together with ways to improve the issues that are commonly associated with statistics. Okay, so without further ado, let us begin. So as we all know, some issues that are associated with statistics can be accidental or purposeful, and this might be because of some the government parties that want to keep their votes during election, so that they purposefully create issues with data provided to pull in more audiences, or either accidental because of the error that occurred during the data collection process, and either way, it's a big problem when these issues rise as industries or studies might use their data, and this is a problem because it can not last a long time, and we want to surely avoid that, because if it's possible, we want everyone to be presented with the correct data at all times. So here are some common types of misuse of statistics. Today I'm only going to talk about 4, which is faulty polling, misleading data visualizations, flawed correlations, and using percentage of change in combination with small sample size. The first one, faulty polling, is about how the question is being presented has a huge impact on the audience. The specific wording patterns in the questions can persuade the respondents in a predictable manner. These questions can be either loaded or complex and will confuse the respondents and trick them to answer based on what the poller wants. The example of this is for the loaded questions. As you can see here, the 2 questions seem quite biased. 1, do you believe that you should be taxed so other citizens don't have to work? The second question, do you think that the government should help those people who cannot find work? So as you can see, the 2 questions seem quite biased. So a solution for this is to ask simpler questions in the polar spot. Do you support government's assistance programs for unemployment? Which is the first question, which also seems quite biased too, but the second question is the perfect question for the respondents. What is your point of view regarding unemployment assistance? It has no bias whatsoever, so it's a simple question and it's easy for the respondents to answer without feeling bad. The second issue is flawed correlations. within our variables, data of two uncorrelated events may appear correlated. What this means is correlation does not simply imply causation. Just because two trends seem to fluctuate in tandem doesn't prove that they are meaningfully related to one another. An example of this is this figure right here. Two data presented, which is age of Miss America and murders by steam, hot vapors, and hot objects. As you can see your data here, they seem quite the same, like from 1999 to 2009, but in actuality, the two events have no correlation whatsoever. This is from Site Spurious Correlations by Tyler Vigan. The next issue is misleading data visualization. So like data visualization, it helps us to present patterns to make sense of the data at our disposal. It can also be used to bend the truth and misrepresent trends. This is wrong, definitely, but for any benefit of it for anyone, you surely have the guts to do such harsh things. An example of this is for this pie chart here during the 2012 presidential run. For GOP candidates, 70% have backed Palin, 60% backed Romney, and another 60% backed Huckabee. And this is quite the problem because the pie chart is wrong. As you can see, the total of the three data is not 100%, but rather we come here 180%, which is almost 100%, which is wrong. And we would like to avoid such wrong data presentation, and it's quite misleading for the American citizens during the presidential run. For the second example is the omitting of the baseline. So I guess as you can see here for the first figure, percent who agrees with court is quite wrong because there's no percentage scale, rather it's just the number scale, which is quite misleading to some. And the second figure here shows the correct way of presenting the data. In the bar itself has the percentage of how much agree with courts, and the y-axis has the percentage scale together with the numbers. Moving on, the third example is about the market shares in UK and USA. The first figure is wrong because obviously no percentage in the pie charts, which can be hard to understand by some. And for the second figure is correct because in all the blocks of data already has the percentage, which can be easily understood by the regular Joe on observing the data. Moving on, for the fourth issue is using percentage change in combination with a small sample size. So let's say if the survey collected with insignificant sample size, the data would be unusable, and percentage based will be misleading because of the really small sample size. So let's say a sample size with 20, where 90 answer yes, 95%, where definitely different. And it would be definitely different from a sample size with 1000, where 150 people would say yes, which is also 95%. So like judging from that, those two have common percentage, but surely you would trust the sample size with 1000 rather than the sample size with 20, right? So like providing only percentage without sample size will be totally misleading for the people who are observing the data. An example of this is a comic by XKDC. So like from the comic above, it shows that the guy with hair says that their country has the fastest growing religion because they are going by percentage, not checking by the sample size. So that it shows that the comparison by percentage is unreliable, 100% increasement doesn't mean it has more value than 85% increasement if the sample size is small. So like sample size does matter when you want to present the percentage. So like surely for all the issues presented, we would like to know on ways to improve statistics as a whole. So like now I will now present and elaborate on ways anyone can improve statistics as a whole. Okay, so as presented earlier, there will always be issues when it comes to the statistics. Instead of dwelling in for a long time on how problems can arise, some solutions have been brought up to solve and or deal with the problems. For this part, our team has decided to state and explain ways to improve statistics as a whole. 1. Improve access to detailed data and make the access more user-friendly. So some websites that offer statistics data can be hard to navigate through at times for a lot of regular users. The data provider could ease this up by offering tools to look at simple analysis of data without having to download the whole data file, such as pivot tables in Excel. Second way is to provide simple explanations to the data given. Some data offered in websites can be quite tedious to be understood by many, with the technical jargons to explain the data offered. For example, if you want to look up some data regarding healthcare, the way they present the data can be hard to understand because of the technical jargons. For this case here, medical terms like the names of the diseases contracted by the patients. So like a solution for this is the data provider could ease this up by using plain English or any other language depending on the data offered on general concepts and statistics for less expert users and or researchers. Moving on. The third way is to prevent unnecessary problems before starting the process of data collection and analysis. So fixing and correcting errors in the data collected can be time-consuming and difficult. This can hinder the progress of a project and indefinitely hinder anyone's work. By putting in some additional time to find out how the data process should be in some condition, unnecessary problems can be avoided by the project team, event team, and others. This planning of work is called quality assurance. So when quality has been assured, surely the data presented can be tip-top shape, and the progress of project will not be hindered by the data collected. So now here are some examples of bad data visualization, which is surely not what we want when we want to present data. First off, the use of 3D charts is never right. As you can see here, a 3D bar chart. Like judging from the figure itself, it's really hard to understand because there's too much in here. Hard to decipher, hard to make any analysis of it. So everyone should avoid using 3D charts. Next example is this figure here on MLS salaries for May 1, 2013 MLS players union release. So judging from this figure alone, it's way too much. Data presented is messy, too much clusters, hard to process for the regular human. Our team can't even get any conclusions just by looking at the picture alone. We would have to seek help from a lot of parties to garner any conclusion. Next example. As you can see here, this is the figure for the companies Disney owns. So for this figure, too much information in one infographic. The small designs and fonts also make it hard for anyone to understand the data well. I mean, like, just look at the figure alone. It's very small. Can't even see what the companies Disney actually owns because it is way too small. This is surely the designer's fault because they did not take into take take into account like how the small everything is. So like the designer and the data provider should avoid this mistake when they want to present the data. And that is all from me. Now I'll pass it on to Faiz here. Thank you.
So now we will talk about statistician and job opportunities in statistic fields. What is a statistician? A statistician is someone who works with theoretical or applied statistics. The profession exists in both the private and public sectors. The core of that work is to measure, interpret, and describe some events in the world and spot patterns within them. The field shares much common history with social science, but often with a greater view on complex mathematical methods. Statisticians commonly have higher college degrees or other credentials as proof that they are qualified for the job. It is common to combine statistical knowledge with expertise in other subjects. The applications are varied. Statisticians apply their knowledge to production, research, medicines, insurance, census taking, government, etc. They often are employed to support managerial decisions or to supervise quality control in manufacturing. So, what does mathematician and statistician do? Mathematicians and statisticians, they analyze data and apply mathematical and statistical techniques to help solve problems. Work environment. Most mathematicians and statisticians work in the public sector and in private science and engineering companies. They also may work on teams with engineers, scientists, and other professionals. How to be a statistician or mathematicians? Mathematicians and statisticians typically need at least a master's degree in mathematics or statistics. However, some positions are available to those with a bachelor's degree. So, what is the skills and qualities to be a mathematician or statistician? The skills and qualities to be a mathematician or a statistician is, the first skill is analytical skills. Mathematicians and statisticians use mathematical techniques and models to analyze large amounts of data. They must determine the appropriate software package and understand computer programming language to design and develop new techniques and models. They must also be precise and accurate in their analysis. The second skills that needed is communication skills. Mathematicians and statisticians must interact with and propose solutions to people who may not have extensive knowledge of mathematics. The third skills that needed to be a mathematician and statistician is math skills. Mathematicians and statisticians, they use statistics, calculus, and linear algebra to develop their model and analysis. The last skill is problem-solving skills. Mathematicians and statisticians must devise new solutions to problems encountered by scientists or engineers. So, these are the 4 skills that need to be a mathematician or statistician. Do you guys want to be a mathematician or a statistician? You can develop these skills before you decide to be a mathematician or a good statistician in the future. So now, we will talk about job that in the statistic fields. As we know, statistics plays an important role in almost many fields of jobs. These are some other suggestions of jobs to consider after we graduate in statistics. The first job that is an actuarial analyst. Then we have actuary. The third job that we have here is civil service fast streamer, a data analyst, a lecturer, a data scientist, a financial risk analyst, an investment analyst, and the last one is market researcher. So, if you guys have decided to complete your degree or studies in statistics, you guys can be one of these jobs in the future. So now, let's talk about interesting facts about statistics before we go to the conclusions. The first fact that we have today is the World Statistics Day. World Statistics Day is an international day to celebrate statistics. This celebration is created by the United Nations Statistical Commission. This day is celebrated every 5 years. As of 2010, 103 countries celebrate a National Statistics Day, including 51 African countries that jointly celebrate African Statistics Days annually on 18 November, while India celebrates its Statistics Day on 29 June, which is the birthday of the statistician Prasanta Chandra Mahalanobis. The third World Statistics Day are celebrated around the globe on 20 October 2020, which is last year, with the theme Connecting the World with Data We Can Trust. This theme reflects on the importance of trust, authoritative data, innovation, and the public good in national statistical systems. The next World Statistics Days was to be celebrated on 20 October 2025. The second facts that we want to share with you today is Bangladesh has bigger population than Russia. Bangladesh has more population than Russia despite of having only small area compared to Russia. Bangladesh has a population about 164 million, while Russia has a population about 144 million. Even if you look at the map, we can see Russia is bigger 1,000 times more than Bangladesh. Can you imagine how busy a city like Dhaka? The third facts that we want to share today is iPhone dominated sales. iPhone dominated smartphone sales in Japan in 2017 with 54% of the market. This percentage shows how dominant a famous brand like iPhone in the market. They truly dominated an entire sales. 4. McDonald's sells 75 burgers per second. McDonald's sells about 75 burgers per second. They have app to record products that they have sold. This number may be bigger from time to time. Can you imagine how much burger that they can sell in a day? It could be millions of burgers. The fifth, 1/3 of adults still sleep with a comfort object. A study conducted by Sleepopolis and one poll reported that 34% of adults still sleep with a stuffed animal, blanket, or other sentimental object, according to a survey of 2,000 adults. The last fact that we want to share is the average person could fill as many as 23 2-liter bottles with the amount of saliva they produce in a month. According to a 2009 study published in the Journal of Medicine and Life, the normal human's daily production of saliva ranged from 0.5 to 1.5 liters. That works out to your salivary glands producing as much as 46.5 liters of slubbers a month. So, as the conclusion is, statistics play a really important role in our daily life. It actually involved in anything around us without we realize. Studying statistics will be a great way to learn more about mathematics. It will be much fun to learn about statistics and try to apply the application in our real life. So, that's all from us.